Hello everyone, it's me, Maya, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be wrapping up all the books I read during the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. Oh my goodness, this is my second time participating in the readathon, and it was so much fun. I always have such a great time with the community and the reading. It was so good. I did so much better reading this year than I did last year. I think I was a lot more balanced with reading and the social media interaction, which distracted me so much last year, and just everything in general. I had snacks prepared beforehand. I bought snacks specifically so I could munch on them. It was so great. And I even read so much more than I did last year. I stayed up until 4 o'clock this morning, and I think ideally I would have liked to have stayed up the entire time, but I did have to go to church in the morning, and even I knew 4 o'clock was pushing it, and I didn't want to push it to like 7 or 8, whenever the readathon ended. So I'm proud of myself. I know I was probably dragging a little bit in church, but I think I was able to do everything, and I wasn't like completely falling asleep, which would be totally embarrassing. So I read 4 graphic novels, and I finished one book, and I'm kind of walking you through my experience during the 24-hour readathon. I finished What If first by Randall Munroe, and this book is so crazy. So Randall Munroe was a NASA roboticist, and he has people send him their absurd questions, and he answers them scientifically. And I think one of the questions towards the end that kind of gave me the most pause was the one about what if a bullet had the density of a neutron star. I, of course, have no idea what a lot of these science terms mean, but the gist of it was that if this bullet gets fired into the earth, it's not going to do a lot of damage, but if you try to touch it, it'll like dismember your hands and suck the blood out of your hands. And I was like, what? What just happened? This escalated so quickly. So that was the one part where I was like, this book is amazing, but still kind of weird, but still really cool. So that was like how I started the readathon. And then I went on to How to Be Happy by Eleanor Davis. This book was weird. I have no better way to describe it. Of course, this isn't how to be happy as in a step-by-step guide on happiness. It's kind of telling you the role that happiness plays in society and how we define happiness and sadness. It was weird. It was really weird. It was like a cross between the Lumberjane series with all like the weird stuff that was going on and Super Mutant Magic Academy. Like all this weirdness and social commentary. It was crazy. Next, I read Aya, and this one was great because it kind of shows you a version of Africa that we don't usually see. And even the author has a note in the beginning about how with Africa and the media image of Africa, you think it's just kids with distended bellies, people with AIDS, people fighting, when truly it's a metropolis, and it has it's cosmopolitan, and it has like cities and centers, and it's more technologically advanced than we give it credit for. And in this story, we're looking at Aya and her 2 friends, Bintu and Aduja. I know I said that wrong. You should know by now. I'm not good at pronouncing names. And it's kind of their adventures and misadventures. And you can honestly see that Aya is the glue that brings her friends together. She's the only level-headed one. It's kind of weird reading it because you kind of assume that she's going to be the main character when really she's kind of this solitary character that's kind of observing her friends' misadventures seriously, and kind of seeing how her friends deal with these things and the kind of her from the outside looking in, because she never really has like an active role in anything that goes on. She's kind of just the one that kind of passes judgment and tells her 2 cents, which of course to the dismay of her friends, but I think she has it level-headed. She wants to do more out with her life than what people want as a woman. I think she wants to be a doctor, and I think because this book is a jumping off point, it's kind of weird that you didn't learn more about Aya, or that she didn't get into anything. But I mean, I love the story, but it's like, is she going to do anything other than talking about people or like giving people advice? So I'm kind of expecting a little bit more in that aspect. The last graphic novel I read was Relish, a food memoir, and it tells the story of this woman who has this relationship with food all of her life. Her parents are a restaurateur and a cook, and a food. Basically, her life has been surrounded by foods, and how she remembers her life is always connected to what something tastes like. So she's going from one time period to another, and she's recounting, oh, I remember the smell of the freshly baked croissants, or we were in Mexico and we had this, and this, and her trying to get over on her parents and the relationship with her parents. So it kind of takes her through her life thus far, but in food form. I thought it was really cool. I love the artwork of it. She's an artist like her mother. And there's a chocolate chip cookie recipe in here that I'm dying to try out. So overall, it was a very great book. I will say, though, that I wish that I had balanced out the types of books I read, because I had graphic novels back to back to back, and it kind of got a little boring. I think I kind of wanted a more involved story as the day went on. So for the October Readathon, I think I'm going to kind of incorporate more, like maybe have one big novel that I want to read during the weekend, and then sprinkle in some graphic novels as I finish the novel, so it kind of breaks up the not the monotony, but the routine of, okay, we're having this graphic novel, then this one, and this one. Just kind of give me even more balanced experience. I enjoy my experience this time around, but I think I can do better and maybe make it a little bit more refined. The last book I read, and the one that wrecked me the most, is Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda. And Simon is gay, but no one knows it, except for one person that decides to blackmail him into helping him get this other girl. So Simon is blackmailed by this guy named Martin, who wants Simon's help in getting this girl, Abby, to like him. And if Simon refuses, then Martin will reveal that Simon is gay, as well as Simon's pen pal, Blue. And so this whole time, you're trying to figure out, okay, will Simon help out his blackmailer? And what will happen with that? Will Simon eventually have to come out? And who is this mysterious Blue? Because the reason he's going along with the blackmailing is because he's trying to protect Blue as well. Because he kind of sees that if he were to come out to his family, it would be okay. But he doesn't know how it would be for Blue and his family. So it kind of puts Simon in a tough situation. It was so beautiful. It was such a beautiful book. Like the entire last half is just like, my emotions. I can't. It's so beautiful. Life is so beautiful. I want to reread a couple of the sections and just kind of relive this adorable romance, because it's so cute. I can't even when I finished it, I was legitimately like the last maybe 100 pages, I was legitimately crying at no, why is this happening? I can't even put into words how great this book is. So overall, I had a really good time. I stayed up. Simon vs. the Homo sapiens Agenda was the book that kind of kept me up the most. And if you were following me on Twitter, you can kind of see all of my craziness. It was as far as I should probably be asleep because I knew I had to go to church in the morning, but I want to finish this book. And so I did it. And I have no regrets. Like, it was totally worth it. I appreciate that I was able to truly experience the readathon experience, like where you're actually trying to stay up as late as you can. I pretty much figured I wouldn't be able to stay up the entire time because that's hard. I got to 4 a.m. So it's hour like 20, 21. So that's good for me. Maybe one time I might be able to do the entire time, but that would involve me sleeping the entire day the day before if I were to have any hope of being able to stay up all night and be functioning the next morning. Because the minute I finished Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, I was out. I was just like, oh, I'm so tired. But I was trying to read an audiobook, and I still, technically speaking, I have another book. I started The Mermaid's Sister, but I barely made a dent in that book before the reading time was over. But I still enjoyed everything I read. I had such a great time with the community. I will always say that the Readathon community, the 24-hour Readathon, is like the best community ever because we are all so cheerful and just cheering people on. I was mostly on Twitter and Instagram, and I enjoyed the pictures so much. I enjoyed the challenges. I did a lot of the challenges on the first half and some towards the end as well. But it was fun just kind of reading, taking breaks. I was so much better with breaks this year, and I didn't lose my mind. I probably should take a nap next year. In October, because I think that would probably help me a little bit to take naps during the day so I can stay up all night. Naps and caffeine. Maybe that'll work better. I have no idea. But I just had so much fun. And if you also participated in the readathon, please let me know below. Tell me your experience. Tell me how you did. And is that it? I think that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you want more of these videos, please press that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.